Hey guys, it's Julian, and today I'm going to be showing you how to make really solid tech house bass lines like this, like this, like this, and like this. So to go along with this video, I've just dropped a new sample pack called 10 Tech House Basslines Volume 1. What this includes is 10 super cool basslines. You just heard 4 of them actually. Those 4 were made using the basslines from this track. What you get with this is you get these 10 basslines, and then you can see there's MIDI and audio for each one. So you can either just work with the audio, or you can use it as a MIDI file. So yeah, this is available in the description for just $10 on my Bandcamp. If you want some really solid bass lines to work with, it's a great place to start from. And honestly, if you just want to kind of reverse engineer them as well, a lot of times these kinds of packs where you can actually see the MIDI are really useful because, you're not just getting a sample, but this way you can kind of see what's going on and analyze how to make these bass lines for yourself. So if you're having a hard time, this can be really useful for that as well. And also with the pack, you get this project file, which has all 4 of those demo tracks that I just showed you. So you can work with the project files from those as well and kind of, reverse engineer some tracks. So all of that is available in the description. Definitely go check that out if you're looking for some solid bass lines to work with, or if you just want to support me. And yeah, let's dive in. So with Tech House Basslines, let's go to 125 BPM here, and I'm going to load up Operator. And really, the main thing to keep in mind with these is simplicity. You don't want to do too much. You want to keep it pretty straightforward and pretty clean. So what I'll typically do is I'll start just by picking one note. We'll just start with F. That'll be the key we're in, F minor. And then what you want to do is try and come up with kind of an interesting groove. I'll use the metronome, and maybe we could do. Just something really simple like that. Just kind of a nice rhythm where it's syncopated and it's going to bounce off of the kick, when I think of these tracks, I try to think of it not just in terms of the bass line, but also the kick. Because, if you listen to those demo tracks, for example, you can hear it's not just that it's this bass line grooving, but it's the fact that you have one thing going doom, 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 while the other thing is burr, 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 burr. Kind of bouncing around like that. So I try to think of it in terms of how it's working in the overall groove and not just the bass line. I think that can make it a lot more straightforward when you do it that way. But yeah, so now we've got a simple pattern here, a very simple rhythm. It's just F, G sharp, F sharp, and then this D sharp down here. And that's really all that you need. Maybe we can mix up some of these notes now. Yeah, something like that, and there it is. So you can see how simple it is, and I'll go from scratch now. Another thing that you can try and do is just kind of play with eighth notes, so maybe we can make something like this. Still in F. And maybe do something like that, just a really straight groove. And then you'd have all the percussion on top of that bouncing around. It's really I don't know, it's not that hard, as you can see. Me trying to show this to you guys, hopefully it's just illustrating how simple it really is. You just want to start with your key, and it also helps to know what notes work in that key. A lot of times you can kind of just stick to these intervals I've done here, just going your root note and then one note up, and then one note or two notes down from that, just really simple like that. It doesn't have to be that complicated. Maybe we can make this one a little bit more like music theory. We could do something like this, like some stuff in this minor scale. Typically, these bass lines are going to be in a minor key as well. You don't really, I mean, if you're doing like a remix of a major track or something like that, maybe you could do it in a major key, but typically, like, the minor key is going to work best for this. Yeah, there we go. And so that's really it for the music. Like, the music is very simple. When it comes to the type of sound you want to use for these type of bass lines, you can do a lot of things. So I'll actually start from scratch here. The first way that I like to make bass lines, and it's just really, really simple, is either just by taking a saw wave or a square wave and just kind of filtering it down. So you can just take that and then we'll just put a low pass on it. And there you go, you get this really fat bass. A lot of times I hear people trying to just use a sine wave, like kind of like this. And the reason why you don't want to do this is because if we go back to the square wave, if you're listening to this on phone speakers, you definitely notice, but you notice how you can hear this a lot more? Like, with just a sine wave, you're really only feeling it because it's just a sine wave, so you're just feeling the low end, but you can't really hear it. And the problem with that is it's very hard to really understand what's going on in the track, and for the listener, it can be hard to even like feel the groove sometimes. But if you do something like this where it's a square wave, or we'll do a saw wave as well, and you filter it down, you can hear, you get that fatness on top of it. So you still like can hear it, but you're still also getting the fat low end underneath that. So that's one way to make the bass lines, which is very simple. Another way that I like to use a lot, you guys probably see this in my videos, is FM synthesis. So if we get sine waves here, what you can do is you can just use operator, for example, or really any FM synth, and we can just kind of bring in the second oscillator here, and already you can hear it's really similar actually to how it sounded when we filtered down the saw wave. So there you go. That just allows you to take the sine waves and makes them a little bit more interesting like this. And we can take this and maybe put it down an octave. Put this up an octave though. And then dial back some of the low end, or some of the high end, I mean. And there we go. So that's another way of making it. Again, it's very simple. You just get some FM synthesis and just honestly, just start turning things up. You know, it's really not that hard to get into it. And then maybe from there, we could put like a bit of drum bus. Saturate it a bit, make it fatter, you know. Another technique I like to use a lot is, you notice this is kind of like right now, like you can see it down here. It's happening a lot in the like 100 to 200 hertz range. And that's typically one where all the mud is, and also typically where the kick is hitting. So a lot of times I'll take this and just dial that out. Kind of boost the low end. And there you go, you know, it becomes a lot fatter and cleaner. This is a really good technique for these kinds of bass lines. And yeah, so there it is. We went from nothing to some pretty cool little bass lines here, and hopefully you learned something along the way. So yeah, that is me for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe, and let me know what you think of this video in the comments. Let me know if you want to see more like specific instrument videos like this in the future. Like I said in the beginning, you can get the project with the sample pack, with 10 super awesome tech house bass lines in the description. It's got the MIDI and the wave for every single one of them, so you can really work with it and reverse engineer what's going on. And you also get the demo project file with these 4 tracks. honestly, if you even just want to take those and turn them into full tracks and finish them, I don't care. Like, this is meant for you to be able to learn from and work with and hopefully make some really great music. So that's me for this one, guys. I hope you enjoyed. As always, make sure to like this video as well as subscribe. Like I said in the beginning, I have like a routine of saying that at the end of the videos. I'm just going to go now. Thank you so much, everybody, and I will see you tomorrow with another video.